Hello everyone and welcome to Wilds of Eldraine draft. Alright. Dawn of Hope can be good, but it is really slow, of course. You can also gain life from food, for instance, so you can just get some cards to, you can draw some cards without even making a salty token. Yeah, it's kinda nasty. In some games you just won't be able to use it and you might even sideboard it away. Uh, yeah, I guess it's a little bit too slow, and I like the Lord Skitter's Blessing as a first pick in a draft because you can, draft around it a little bit. An aggressive deck. Of course, if I was playing sealed, I would be taking a lot of these red and black cards. I mean, this is actually 6 red and black cards I would be happy to have. But I'm gonna take the blessing now instead of something like a feed the cauldron here. Alright, this is a fine continuation. I could take Minstrosity or the Dream Thief. I like the Dream Thief slightly more. Of course, I can play this on turn 1 and then this on turn 2, have a 2/2 flyer and draw extra cards if the opponent doesn't kill it. It's easy pick actually after the first one. Let's keep black if there's no strong reason to take something out other color of a card. And do we have something else in here? I don't think so. I like just taking the vermin here. The vermin seems fine. This is okay, but I don't want to take another color yet when I have a decent card in here. This vermin isn't gonna be the best in every combination with black I can make, but I mean the best card in the pack is Amot, but it doesn't really function well with these, with being 2 colors, neither of which is black. So I'm gonna take the vermin here. Okay, there's a Baron Nordi, which is of course better when you have a fairies deck, but this could be a fairies deck, and I mean what's the other option, like a Dutiful Griffin? I'll take the Baron Nordi. Okay, well this is a nasty one. I mean it's a great pack for me because it has 2 very decent options. Now this could be the fairy pick, but there's also a cut in a very strong red removal spell and functions nicely with the stuff I have already in here. All of these things are happy to have a young hero role token. But Likeness Looter, I could be leaning towards a fairy deck with the... I mean, red-black is better archetype, but also I could be well suited for a fairy deck. Oh, this is tough. This is the better card, maybe, and better archetype is the red-black one, but I'm taking the rare here. Maybe it's like more fun pick. Oh, there's a 12 pack, which would have been quite nice continuation for the cut in, although both of them are 4 mana cards, and you don't want to have too many of them. There's also Neva. I mean, I don't have to be blue-black. I think I'm gonna take the Neva now. Let's keep an option for a black and white as well. That maybe is also a fun choice to have here. Okay, so now there's an attendance, sweet tooth witch, the financier, clothier. Out of these, oh, there's also Kellan. Kellan's light blades is here. Alright. So I guess the attendance isn't that great. I don't like the witch in most decks other than black-green maybe. It's fine, but nothing like any card I'm too excited about here. I'm taking the light blades. It is decent removal here regardless. And if I will be black and white, I'm happy to have access to that card. White also has some fairies. You know, Baron Nordi can get lifelink even from white creatures in this set. Okay, well, I think Amorim Mice is the pick. I wouldn't mind having the Evolving Wilds, but I guess I'm gonna be white-black and having a fairly decent 2-drop is reasonable here. That's just a rare, not a mythic rare. I will still pick mythic rares from this enchantment seed, but not the regular rares. Alright, let's take the 2-drop. And, well, I mean, how likely is it that I'm gonna play any of these? I guess I can consider playing this if I have a lot of roll tokens or some other enchantments going on, and I think I'm gonna cut the likeness looter. I mean, I put it to the sideboard for now. Okay, stockpiling Celebrant, that's actually gonna synergize with the a certain kind of stuff that both white and black has. For instance, the enchantments, the black enchantment that makes the opponent discard a card and makes them lose 2 life, and of course the white 2-mana enchantment that gives you a 2/2 vigilance token. Celebrant likes to have those things, and I'm gonna take the Celebrant over the parents. Let's try to get those cards among other synergistic cards for this thing. It's kind of the black-white thing, but it's not that easy to make it work actually. Break the spell, you know, it's a sideboard card at least. And if I get the Princess Takes Flight uncommon, that's decent with that as well. One more card in this pack, and let's see what pack 2 gives me. Well, Will is not that good even. Alright, Hopeful Vigil. I think it's an easy pick over stuff like Gallant Pie Wielder, because, well, this is exactly gonna synergize with these Celebrants among other things. And it's a 2-drop, which I still do need here. It's a very easy pick. I'm not gonna consider a cut in. It's gonna be a... I guess I didn't see a lot of black in the remaining of the deck, but no matter what, I'm taking the Hopeful Vigil now because I have 2 Celebrants. That's an easy pick. That's the correct choice, I'm sure of it. And here... well, probably gonna be a black card. There's a Lord Skitter's Butcher. There's also Feed the Cauldron. There's this witch thing and another light plates. But I don't think I care about the 5-drop here. It's gonna be one of the 3 mana spells. I don't care about the second copy of the light plates either. I think I'll just take the removal because I really don't have any of that. Other than the light plates I picked earlier. But also because I have, look at my 3 mana creatures, I have at least these Celebrants. Maybe I will play the Vermin. I'm unlikely maybe to play the Savior, but I don't think I'm at this point I'm gonna take another creature that costs 3. What do we have here? Not Dead After All, which, you know, works with the Lord Skitter's Blessing. I do want to have other means to get enchanted creatures to enable this card draw. There's also a Twin Whale Guide, by the way, which is a fairy, which is relevant for the Battle Node. There's also Evolving Wilds, which just fixes my mana, which I quite like, because I don't think the Not Dead After All or the Guide are such a, you know, high picks. I'm gonna take the mana fixing now. Shatter the Oath. This is, by the way, the other common fairy for white. But if I'm taking a 5 mana card here, it's gonna be the Shatter the Oath, and I'm gonna just take that. It also gives me an aura, you know, that will work with the Lord Skitter's Blessing. Well, Stab Wound, Rankle's Prank, another Never. Also this thing which I won't be even considering over the other options. I'm not sure if the Rankle's Prank is exactly the kind of card I want to have here. And I really think I like the Neva even more than the Stab Wound, now that I had some removal picked early in this draft. I'm gonna just take the Neva. That's a straight up 2 for 1. Can get some counters too. Yeah. And here. Well, that's another fairy. There's Knight of Doves too, which can be good. If I had more of these Hopeful Vigils and the 1 mana black corresponding card. This could be interesting, getting some free bird tokens, but oh, this is tough actually. I mean, it can still... Okay, let's try this. I haven't really played with this. I wanna make it work. Here. I think now it's gonna be the Not Dead After All. Gets me a cheap aura for the things that care about that. Or care about the enchantments. I don't need this 3-drop. Arcan's Glory is fine, but I guess I'll take this. Not Dead After All. Okay, here the Besotted Knight is gonna be the pick. More ways to get Royal Roll, any kind of enchantments or auras to synergize with the stuff I have already here. How does the mana curve look like? I don't need to play all the... I guess the Reindeer is not needed. And the Savior of the Sleeping is nearly not as good as the Knight of Doves. It is, bigger stats and has vigilance, but even if you get one bird token from this, that's already gonna be good. Whereas if this thing has like a one extra counter, it's not necessarily gonna matter too much yet. I also need more 2 mana plays. So, shame I didn't get another Hopeful Vigil or the black. Don't remember the name of the card, but you know what I mean. Alright, what's this pack showing? Fell Horseman and the Scarecrow Guide. I'm not splashing any other colors, so this still will fix my own mana, of course, even if I just play 2 colors. But I think I like the Fell Horseman as a... Although with 2 Nevas that might be unnecessary. Actually, scratch that. With 2 Nevas I don't need the clumsier version of that effect. Here I will just take 20 gems. Here I will just take 20 gems or the Twin Veil Guide. I don't think I need any more 4-drops, and having just one Battle Node is not enough to play another Fairy, which is a fairly weak one for this deck. Another Not Dead. After all, I'm not sure if I'm gonna play 2 in the main deck, but of course there wasn't really much else for me in that pack. And there's a Soul Guide Lantern, and one more card before going to pack 3. Okay, I got the Dutiful to Griffin. It's actually quite a good card, but I mean, it used to be that if you have a 5 mana 4/4 flyer, that it's a great card in limited, even if it doesn't do anything else. But not anymore. It's fine, but I don't even need to play it. Alright, so the Witch's Vanity is easy pick here. There's another Celebrant, but I have already 2 of them and not actually a lot of synergy for them yet. And this is one of the cards you can synergize with the Celebrant. So easy pick. I also need a 2-drop, which this counts as. I mean, it counts as a 2-drop when the opponent has something to kill, but if they don't, then maybe I didn't need it. On turn 2 at least. Alright, here we have a bunch of different cards. I might just take the cheap removal spell in the cooped up. Yeah, that I believe makes the most sense, rather than take another 5 mana card. And this is not very good. Cooped up is quite decent. Okay, Hopeful Vigil. Do I even need to think about any other option? No, I don't. It's the Hopeful Vigil. Okay, well, there are options. I mean, there's another Witch's Vanity, another Light Blades. I would play them Taken by Nightmares, which is just gonna be better than the Shatter the Oath. But also the Pollen Shield here. I have some creature tokens, at least from the Vigil, but I don't need this 2-drop. I will be taking removal, I think. Taken by Nightmares is... I mean, I like this, of course, especially in this deck, but I think I just take the unconditional exile creature. Maybe Scry 2. Another Fairy Dream Thief. I actually don't mind. I have 2 of them, so I have some ways to get the Battle Node to actually give me life. And here I think I'm gonna take this rather than the Dutiful Griffin, because this enchantment synergy is better with my deck. Because I don't think I'm gonna play both of the 5-drops. I will play the Shatter the Oath and one of the 5 mana creatures, and I think the Clother is gonna be the one. Also, it is a fairy for the 1 Battle Node, but I shouldn't really focus too much on this. If I had 2 Battle Nodes, it would be maybe more reasonable to draft around it, but only 1 is not so important. But I'm very happy to have the Hopeful Vigil number 3 here. Actually, I really want to have the 3rd stockpiling Celebrant I saw earlier in this pack. I want that thing to come back. Alright, I'm not gonna play 3 of these, or 2 of these, or any of these, and I don't need a 1-drop in this deck. So I take the Knight of Doves, and when I'm building the deck I will have to assess whether this is actually worth including or not. I'm not quite sure at now. Okay, I don't need a 5-drop, and I'm very happy to have another Celebrant here. Triple Celebrant with triple Vigil. That can do some stuff. Alright, out of these options, it's probably going to be... I mean, these are all sideboard options. I don't think I'm main decking any of these, but I'll take the guide here. I'll put it to the main deck for now. Just take the only white card, only black card. I'm not playing those, but at least they were uncommon, so they will increase my vault value better than the commons. Okay. Alright, I'm actually happy how the deck turned out. Not gonna need a main deck break the spell or this. Alright, but I have of course many cuts to make, and I think the Griffin is just not as good as the Clothier. The Reindeer is actually synergizing in this deck, but not. I mean, I don't want to play this many 4-drops, and I like the other 4-drops more, and I'm also going to cut the Twin Veil Guide from the main deck. 4 4-mana cards, 2 5-mana cards, the rest will be cheaper. Let's see the creature curve. So type creature or hopeful. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Yes, it is, because I want to have the vigils here as creatures. So this is only 6 2-drops, 2 1-drops though. I don't think the Not Dead after all is gonna be needed at 2 copies. Well, okay, how about the Knight of Doves? The ways to get enchantments here are, I mean, this cares about any enchantment, not just aura. Any enchantment I control going to graveyard. So if these go to graveyard, if nothing else, by me sacrificing them, that's gonna give me a bird. If I bounce it, then that's not gonna trigger this thing. So, but anyway, they are enchantments. That's 3, and then I have 4 and 5 in here, 6, 7. I guess this can go to graveyard if I sacrifice it to bargain, but that's not very likely necessary to happen. Cooped Up will go to graveyard. At least when I exile the enchanted creature. Then a couple of these which can give, yeah, it's like I think I liked enough, you know, the amount of synergy I have, but not enough to play also the Savior of the Sleeping. I like the Knight of Doves here. And then am I going to play both of these Not Dead after alls? I kinda like them with the Lord Skitter's Blessing though. May I not need the Vermin here? I think it's kind of like a not what my deck is trying to do. Yeah, and I have these other 3-drops. I can cut the Vermin. This is still 26 though. And now it's the hard part. What to cut here? I guess the worst 2-drop I have is the Scarecrow Guide, and I don't really need the fixing, so I'm gonna have that. This is only 5 2-mana board affecting plays in form of creatures, but I do have these 1-drop creatures, and I have the Witch's Vanity and the Cooped Up and the Light Blades, all of which I can use on turn 2 if the opponent has targets for them. So I think losing the 2-1 is totally fine. I also think I could just play 16 lands in this deck. I'll get some scries with these things if I want to. With this thing too. I kind of want to play 2 Not Dead after alls, but it's also the most likely cut in here. Now this thing actually shows 13 creatures, but it is in fact 16 because of the vigils. Although you can't return these tokens with the Not Dead after all. So maybe I will cut one of them. That's 24. And 16 lands would work here, I believe. Quite nicely. So this thing actually returns also enchantments. Something to keep in mind that this also can pick up, you know, counters with the scry even. So it's not just a Gravedigger, it does other things other than being a menace Gravedigger. But it can pick up a Vigil if it has gone to my graveyard. Not Dead after all at 1 copy. Yeah, I think this is the build. I'd rather maybe sideboard in the other copy of this card against removal heavy decks, but in the main deck I will only have one. And this is now gonna be with the Evolving Wilds. I had more white cards than black. Double caster blacks though, no double caster whites. And with these 1-mana black spells I can easily have a turn when I play one of these and some other black card. So I think because it's gonna be 8-7 basics, that it's gonna be only 7 plays. I might need more of those black mana sources despite having slightly more white cards in the deck. So yeah, this is it. I don't recall playing these kind of decks a lot, so it's at least a refreshing change for me. Oh, this is tough. I mean, this will serve well as an ETB. I have 2 of them, and I have the Lord Skitter's Blessing too, and a Not Dead After All. This is one of the rare cases. I'm gonna keep a 1 lander. I'm also on the draw, so I have the extra land. The extra possibility for a land draw. I'm gonna keep it. I mean, if I have 2 of these, I'm gonna do it. There would have to be like 5 non-lands on top of the deck for this to really backfire. And look at this. Yeah, I'm keeping the Vigil here too. It might be a little bit greedy, but it is what I want to do here now. Ooh, Hatching Plans. I really don't want them to bounce this with like a Johan stopgap, so before going off with the Lord Skitter's Blessing, I'm actually going to just get my 2-2 here. Let them bounce the 2-2 token. Because if they have a Johan stopgap, they're gonna sack this and bounce this most likely. I would want to have 1 card from this right away. Of course I can have other enchanted creatures with the Not Dead After All. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, there's the stopgap, like I said. Do they have to discard to hand size? Yes, they do, even if they play land. Unless they have a 1-mana spell they can cast. Which they seem to have. No. Okay, they go and discard. Alright, but this land was really good. Because now what I can do is I play the Blessing here. Give this the Wicked Roll token. Attack for 2, and if they kill this guy, they could bounce it too. Ah, yeah, that's right. But if they kill it, it could be a Torch the Tower which exiles. So this is actually not so great here. I'm gonna just do this instead. Land. I don't think I need a swamp. I need something else here. I really hope they don't kill the Dream Thief. Or bounce it. Okay, Prodigy. Okay, now I wouldn't. Well, I mean, if I drew a land after this taken by Nightmares, I would of course be able to exile it. But now this is still fine. I can return the Hopeful Vigil back. I know I could use Cooped Up or the Kellan's Light Blades to deal with this thing, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna do exactly this now. Scry 2. Now I'm gonna have a land. Also the Besotted Knight will be nice. I'll draw the land first though. That gives me the option to use the Taken by Nightmares. So can I out-tempo them? They are gonna outdraw me. But can I out-tempo them? This can't, by the way, it has Skulk, so it can't be blocked by creatures that have a higher power. Okay, so I can get rid of the Attendants here, that's nice. I could actually, yeah, I think it's better to try to really out-tempo them, and I'll play the Cooped Up and the Vigil here. Leave the Taken by Nightmares for some other turn. They're gonna go down to 8 now. I guess I'm drawing cards here too. They haven't dealt with the Fairy Dream Thief here. So I've gotten a nice amount of cards from this. And with the removal here I have. I can push some damage here through. Okay, now they got rid of that. At least the wicked token does its thing and they lose a life. I won't be drawing a card now. And they're gonna do something with the prodigy. Well, with open mana there, it's not gonna be worth using the Besotted Knight on the Dream Thief. I'll just have my taken by nightmares. And the light blades here. Also, I'm gonna attack here with everything. See what they have here. Nothing yet. Okay. So, in that case, I can play the Dream Thief, Hopeful Vigil, and still have the Not Dead After All up here. That seems decent. Alright, do I need to have it? I mean, it's a 2 mana 2/2, maybe it is worth having. Okay, that resolved as well. Well, this is interesting. Farsight Ritual, well, they can get some cards, but... are they gonna have a mass removal effect? For blue and red, what are the options? I mean, they have no blockers to my 5 creatures. Well, none of them is lethal by itself, but of course, it's not gonna be that easy for them to deal with all this stuff, especially because 2 of them are flying. And of course, I still have stuff like the Besotted Knight and this interaction here. Okay, so they have the Hatching Blast Blue-Red deck, which I have had 2 in the past. But of course, I was able to have a pretty wide board thanks to my low mana curve. I also kept the 1-lander, but of course, I think that keep was just quite easy there with the both Dream Thieves. But now, question is, do I care about break the spell? No, I don't want to destroy the Hatching Blast. Maybe if it was, you know, exiling effect, which it isn't. Alright, so Vermin... the Reindeer taps their stuff, but I have interaction here. I don't think it's gonna be that beneficial to sideboard anything here. I really don't think. Not Dead After All. No, they can have a bounce and Torch Tower Exiles. I will play 1, but not more than that. This is fine. Let's use the same deck. This 1-lander I'm not gonna keep. Mulligan. Okay. So, not the greatest, but it is something. I'm almost tempted to not have the Lord Skitter's Blessing, but I'm not sure if that really makes sense. I think the Kellan's Light Pledge is the one I'm gonna... Because this is the card that can draw me, you know, more cards. I just need to find a creature. Sleight of Hand, okay. Deja Vu. Well, there's that. It's okay with this blessing thing. If I play this now, it's not gonna do anything, so I'm gonna wait until I have a creature. Well, there is a creature. Doesn't work with the Not Dead After All. At least they didn't have a Hatching Plans yet, but let's see if they have a counter spell. They have. That's annoying. I could just exile it right away, but I think I'd rather have the Knight of Doves in here. I can still block the 1/1 here, take 3, and then I have the Not Dead After All here. Maybe they try to cut it down. That would be great. But maybe they just bounce it. Okay, so don't really know how am I supposed to do this. I would just want to play this Blessing and the Vigil, but I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna play the white card though. I have only one plane, so let's keep playing our white cards. And then I'm just not gonna do anything else here. I'll keep mana up for the Not Dead after all. Okay, that worked. It will enter tapped, but at least it will have the Wicked token, so... Now if this dies, I will... Well, whenever an enchantment... I guess if they bounce it, yeah, then it won't see the enchantment leaving the battlefield. Okay, they still chose to bounce that one. I'm taking 6 here, by the way. So can they bounce also that one? Because if they bounce this, then this is first going to my hand, and then... Okay, yeah. And then this goes to graveyard, but it's no longer... This thing is no longer on the battlefield for the trigger. Now, I could just play it safe and just exile this now. I'm gonna do that. I get to scry too as well. Okay, these are fine things to have. Next turn... Well, I'm gonna surveil after I have drawn the Shatter the Oath. So I'm gonna have the option for the Shatter the Oath if I really need to kill something. They might have play a 6-5 here. It would be a shame to not have the token here, but at least this is going to... Well, let's see what this does. I don't wanna play the Lodge Gitter here. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a way to deal with this. Not gonna block. Way too risky. They have an instant. I can go. I also don't actually want to, you know, lose too much life on this thing, but let's try this first. I want to kill it if I can. And I think I'm also going to play the Dream Thief now first. And then maybe start considering casting the Lodge Gitter's Blessing. I don't need that. Okay, Verge of Courage. So, okay, they can play that. I can actually destroy it if I want to. If I'm scared about this thing. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, well, to me, not very likely to happen, is it? I'm gonna now just do this finally. Okay, they had a counter spell on that. It's fine. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get my bird token here. Yep, this is good. Well, let's see if they have more counter spells. Give a counter in here. Oh, I mean Royal Roll token. Well, this is... Alright. That's fine. I mean, that's totally fine. Okay, do a quick study. Lets them refill a little bit. I still have a removal for a creature they might have. I mean, they have to have a creature if they want to finish the game somehow. Okay, I'm gonna get another bird token from that actually. The enchantment will go to graveyard. Right. Let's do this first. And I guess it didn't seem like they have removal on this, so I should sacrifice it right away. But then that's the way, sure way to... Because if I sacrifice this so that they respawn by killing the doves, I wouldn't be getting the... Oh. That's actually not that great now that I sacrificed my stuff. I'm gonna maybe keep one of them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if I activate the sacrifice, because it's... You activate it with mana and only on resolution you sack. That's annoying. I need one more mana to actually be able to kill it. And I know I'm not gonna draw a land now. So... Let's do this. Okay, there's land for the next turn. Okay, that's good. I don't need to scry now. What was I saying? Yeah, that I mean the activation is activation is mana, resolution you sacrifice it, so they can respond to that. I'm gonna do this here now. So which is gonna be more important? Killing the flyer is more important. So do this in here, and I'm guessing I'm gonna give this guy the... So now I kinda have to double block the gatekeeper, I believe. I mean, I can jump block it too. But... That's a good question. I cannot take 6 also. That is like a possibility, but I'm not going to go for it. They could have the -4, -0 as well. I can, you know, keep bouncing these Celebrants just to scry, but it's not necessarily the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna lose to a bunch of different things they might have. Yeah. If I knew the double block is safe, I would just snap do that. But I think they might have the -4, -0. But if I'm thinking that if they have that, I don't think I'm gonna beat them. If they have a 3/4 flyer, I have no way to push through. So let's do this and see what they have. Alright, touch the tower, so... That wasn't the -4, -0. How did they scry? I forgot to check. Okay, they have the Prodigy. Now I need something quite good. Okay then. So, let's do some scrying, I guess. Bye-bye, lands. And how am I going to beat them now? I could leave these to block the gatekeeper, but I think I also need to just try to push through some damage here. 3 in there. I can you know enhance the battle node. So I guess I have a 2-turn clock. If they just have lands there, I can block the guys in the ground in the meanwhile. Pyro Hammer. Okay, well that's really good with the frantic firebolts. Alright, with that thing too. So now I no longer can do anything but jump here and see how I'm gonna lose. That's not doing it. Alright. Game 3 it is. Really tough matchup for sure. They have a very strong deck. I mean, they have the kind of stuff that I really Yeah, I mean, all these top caps are so good against my tokens. They have a hatching blast there somewhere. They have counter spells removal. The dragon, which is problematic. Cut in is good. How do I try to win? I guess the Not Dead after all does something against the cut in and the Verge of Courage and the Frantic Firebolt, which I saw many copies of, so that's like a consideration. I just don't think I really have. Oh, I didn't draw my Nevas. I think these are good in this matchup, but alas. Do they have creatures with mana value 2 or less? Well, they have an Ingenious Prodigy, but and of course the Alchemist. But that's like not a lot. I could maybe even see cutting that and playing the Not Dead after all here. Maybe the Worming is good, maybe something else is good, but I think I'm gonna just have it like this and hope to have the similar kind of a curve out as in the first game, because I don't think I'm the favorite to win here necessarily. They seem to have a very good deck and well suited against me. At least I can keep here a nice hand with 1-drop and 2-drops. Okay, I'm gonna keep it because I can play these 2-drops for many turns now. Might even go with the mice because it deals more damage than the 2/2s, and if they bounce it, it's not such a big deal because it's not a token. Also, if they have the 1/3, I can trade with it. Also, this will be a 3/3 actually if I get to resolve the Hopeful Vigil, because it will make 2 permanents enter the battlefield. And they could have a Torch the Tower too. Okay, there's the Alchemist, which is actually with the Not Dead after all, I prefer in fact them to block. Do I? Huh. Yeah, if I just play these, the 2/2 isn't even that great against them, so let's do this. Now that the Alchemist is not there, I can now play my 2/2, which hopefully is going to do something. Wicked token. So they will lose a life point at least if they deal with the mice. Sentry. Annoying, but well, I think I'm actually doing this now. Now if they do block it, I will get a 1/1 flyer. If they don't block it, they take 5 damage. That I like to see. So this is the way to try to win here. They have good cards, but they are quite costly. Unless they have like a Torch the Tower and the other removal spell that counts their instant sorceries and stuff like that. Okay, this is a good one. No reason to do anything but try to attack for a 5 in here. Okay then. Well, I'm not playing the Celebrant, I wanna keep mana up for the Not Dead after all. If they counter this, I don't care. Yeah, like I said, if they keep up mana for that one spell and I deal 5 to them, it's quite good for me. But they might have a good blocker now, the 3/4 flyer for instance. I actually don't have a way to really deal with it. Well, I'm still dealing 3 damage to them. So they go down to 8. Spell stutter. No. Good. Value. Value for me. Scrying. I don't need this. I don't know if I like the... Actually, I do like the planes a little bit. I can play the Hopeful Vigil and sack it if I need to. And this is not gonna do anything now. I'm gonna decline this, not gonna bounce. Okay, I do like my sideboarding of the Not Dead after all here. Now if this dies, I get a flying token if the Knight of Doves is still alive. Or it gets bounced, it doesn't actually matter. Oh, quick study there is gonna cost a lot of tempo for them. Yeah, this is the way to win this kind of an opponent. They have you know, strong cards but also quite slow stuff. So curving out is the key to victory in matchups such as this, and you know, the Not Dead after all. Basically, you know, trading my 1 mana to their 3 or 4 mana. It's a really good deal. I still didn't draw any of my Nevas. Would be nice to get them. Alright, well, this is also a nice hand to just keep. I would like to be on the play, but you can't have it all. Opponent did mulligan also, but to 5 in fact. Okay, this could be easy mode, but let's not make any assumptions yet. So they kept 5 and have a Hopeless Nightmare, and I can... Well, I have a double caster black, but I don't have a double caster white, so I'm gonna discard a planes, but now immediately draw the third swamp. I mean, this is all fine because they mulligan to 5. I'm taking all the, you know, 1-for-1s. Okay, I could have discarded the swamp apparently. It's fine though. I take all the 1-for-1s against the player who mulliganed to 5, and I didn't mulligan at all. So they could have some trickery. I'm gonna actually not block yet. Let's see what they do. Sweet Tooth Witch. Because this thing has Vigilance, so I always have the opportunity to block if I want to. So let's see. I can now try to block the Sweet Tooth Witch if they attack with it. Although on the next turn I can use... Oh, that's really nice too. Well, I mean, I would like to have mana open for this, but the Lord Skitter's Blessing is just too good to pass up here. Yes, I'm gonna give it to the 2/2. And they have to kill it in response. Otherwise, I will at least get the 1/1 with the Knight of Doves. And I'm not going to attack now because I don't want to trade with the witch. I want to draw a card. They will scry 2. Let's see how they scry here. To the top. Okay, well, they're definitely having 2 good draws here. What are they gonna be? Okay, that I can just kill. That's totally fine. Oh, with the Not Dead after... I was actually considering just shattering the Oath here. But of course now I can leave up mana for the Not Dead after all. Oh yeah, I'll just take it all. I don't need the Neva yet, so I'm gonna first draw the Knight of Doves, I think. Yeah, I'll do that. It's tempting to attack. I would get the bird, but no, it's tempting to attack when I have 2 Knight of Doves on the battlefield. Okay. That happens, and then that happens, and they are gonna attack. I can trade with it, get a 1/1, but I mean, I'm losing life each turn with to the Shatter the Oath. But drawing 2 is also really good. If I go to 11 now, then I go to 10. Yeah, I'm going to just trade here now. I'm not going to risk it. I lose some life here regardless. So here, what I'm gonna do is I will actually just play the other Knight of Doves. Sadly, don't have a means to sacrifice this because it's the only one. I have only one place here. Now what I can do is I can triple block the Conceited Witch. It's definitely worth. I mean, I'm not gonna attack with the 1/1 here. It's only 1 damage I can deal. I know I can just double block it too. So maybe I could have considered it, but oh well. There's nothing to pick up yet, but I can crack this thing. Get 2 1/1s. So that sounds like a good idea. And then I can get back the Hopeful Vigil with the Neva. Oh, they have a Recruiter, but no, correct mana here. I mean, they didn't have the white for the tokens, but they are gonna have a good attack now. But I will have, of course, here somewhat good stuff for me as well. So first I'll just do this. Get a couple of flyers. And, well, I mean, I guess I'll just have it all. I think it's fine. And then I will, of course, do some blocks in here. These will block here. And these will block here, I guess. Maybe do the other way around. They might want to save their witch somehow. Because I can save one of the Knight of Doves. Here I'm gonna do like this. I'd rather have the witch die. Okay, let's go. They might use the witch to make me lose 2 life, but they chose not to. Man. It's so tempting to use the not dead after all on the first guy here. Let's do it. They could have like a torch tower here now. That's what they can have. Okay, that wasn't the case. I go down to 8 and then I go of course down to 7 on my own turn. But I will try to outrace them. For sure. So I can take a Hopeful Vigil and then play the Dream Thief. Another Vigil, but the problem is I can only cast 1 white spell a turn. I think it's time to just not have this around. And I will attack with these guys. Guess I want to block this, and I don't want to let them have 1 removal spell to allow the attack to go through. So 3 here is gonna be. If they kill one of my guys, I can still double block this. Even though it means I can't even kill it, but I'm not gonna take 2 damage if I can avoid it. Okay. Yeah, I think it's time to do this and this. And I have to play around a few different things. Like them stealing a creature from me. This is 8 damage, they will go to 5. So how many? I'm gonna attack with the 2 power creatures. They go to 7. Now if they steal a creature from me... Yeah, I think I can do this. This leaves me enough blockers for all kinds of shenanigans. They need some very specific combination of cards to win the game now. They have only 2. I'm going down to 5 here, of course. Flick a coin there, that's like a deals with one of my guys. And then I still have a lethal attack here. Alright, black and red, aggressive deck. Now they have a flick a coin, which makes it so that any one toughness creature is like a little bit suboptimal, but okay, the options are Dream Thieves and the Armory Mice. Can I choose to not play them because they are also my cheap creatures which I need to have cheap blockers. I also think the Twin Whale Guide here is potentially a card I want to have. The Lord Skitter's Blessing is almost a card you could sideboard out, especially when you are on the draw. Now if I do that and I play the Twin Whale Guide, does that make sense? That's a little bit more expensive cards in here, but probably still okay. And I will play the other stuff here too. The Besotted Knight is not so good anymore. I guess it's still with the Knight of Doves. It is good with that. But I'm thinking about maybe playing another copy of a Not Dead after all. In these matchups it can be quite nice. I'm actually gonna cut one of the Dream Thieves and play a Not Dead after all. Number 2. Okay, that's the sideboarding. Alright, this is a mulligan. Now they kept 7. Remember in the previous game they actually mulliganed to 5 and it was still somewhat close. That's a fine one, and okay, if I cut a land here now, the 5-drop is gonna be quite a long way coming, but if I cut the 5-drop and I draw 2 lands in like 4 draw steps, I would like to have access to the claw there in that case. I get 1 Surveil here, the Cooped Up is gonna be good here. I'm not gonna drop a cheap removal spell. I also like the Knight here because it can give this another counter and still be a 4-drop. I guess the reasonable thing is to just get rid of the 5-drop. Okay, they get to have their own Dream Thief. Surveilling into graveyard. Okay. This is fine. That is fine. Not going to block here because of course I have the stuff in here. Well, I mean, I can do this if they kill it in response. I guess if they have a Torch Tower, that's horrible, but I'm just hoping they don't have it. Alright. Because now if they have a kill spell on it, I can at least bring it back with the Not Dead after all. So no 2-drop at all. Okay, that I can just deal with the light blades, I guess. I know I could Cooped Up it, but I can use it for some potential blocker maybe. Okay, edge wall pack. I guess I'm gonna... this is not doing much now. I actually wouldn't mind drawing the lands here. I'm at least happy to have this on the bottom of the library. I mean, I'm not winning this race if this keeps going, but... Because of course I can leave the Dream Thief to block, which I probably will do now. I'm gonna do this, because I do have the Not Dead after all here, so if they have some... I mean, if they have a Torture Tower, then it's bad, but other than that... it's going to allow me to prevent the attacks with this backup. Because I don't want to race such a close race against the black-red deck, which has really many ways to, you know, push damage through quickly. My deck doesn't have. Okay, they might sacrifice their stuff just to grow this guy, but no. Okay, I at least got the Hopeful Vigil for the Celebrant to combine with. Still not gonna... I mean, at this point I'm just waiting to draw lands and you know, win the game. Because, I mean, currently I'm not winning the race here, so let's just... Okay, they have a... So they're playing around Not Dead after all. They didn't Candy Grapple this thing, or maybe they don't want me to draw a card, but I mean, it's gonna cost so much mana that I don't think they care about me using 3 mana to draw a card. Okay, well, let's start with here. I need to shatter the oath on this guy at some point, but we'll see. Okay, they can play the ward cost first. And then I will save it. I get the Surveil to maybe get the 4th land. And it's still a 2-2. Yep, that's good. I would need a swamp here too, but I just wanted to get the 4th land here. I will get the Scry now, of course. That's nice. That is very nice. Alright, well, all of this... I guess the Witch's Vanity is also good, so I'm gonna... which one I draw first? Next turn is a Hopeful Vigil and could also be the Witch's Vanity. Or just a Besotted Knight. So I'm at least... Now, drawing the Swamp isn't gonna do anything else than allowing me to play the Shatter the Oath on the next turn, but I'm not sure if that is needed. That said, there's nothing like an amazing target for the Witch's Vanity. The Vermin. Okay, actually, change of plans. I will draw the Swamp. Because it seems like I'm more interested in using the Shatter the Oath on the Vermin than the Witch's Vanity on a random 1-1 or the Dream Thief. Okay, so... I don't need the creature. I have a Besotted Knight for an additional creature, so let's just discard that. If they now attack with the Vermin, yeah, I will try to block with the Celebrant. But maybe they attack with this thing. No. Okay. Let's trade. I'm just playing this and still I feel like I don't want to attack. I guess I could start the race. But because they only can deal 2 to me, even if they deal with the Besotted Knight. Of course they can always attack with the Dream Thief. But I'm gonna start the race now. They get the Scry though, and they have the 3 life here. Maybe it's just not gonna make sense. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. And I left the Swamp to my hand because they might have another Hopeless Nightmare, and in that case I don't wanna discard this Shatter the Oath. They scry 2 to top. Okay. I hope it's a 2-drop then. It's a screen buff. Well, that's a target for the Shatter the Oath. And is it time to raise? I'm dealing 6 now. It is time. I know I could have left the Dream Thief to block, but now that I have the 4-4 here, I'd rather try to raise here. But this is the other card they left on top, so they might have a kill on the knight. Yep. But now I can Witch's Vanity this thing away, so they'll get to draw their card, but I'm at 11. I'm not dead yet. Have food here, so they are effectively at 10 life right now. I'm not actually gonna coop up to yet because I might have why. But oh, that's a nasty one. That's a really nasty one. Yeah, this is bad. If they draw more creatures, I mean, I guess I can maybe try to beat the 1-1, but even with that, because this is gonna be at 1-2-2 this turn, and 3-3, 4-4. Yeah, if I flood out now, I'm not gonna have a chance. I will get a food token, but it's actually not gonna be enough to beat the race. But yeah, I can maybe still leave the cooped up for my synergies. There's no point making that go to exile right now. Okay, there's a Neva, which is of course a good draw. But at least they use this on their turn. They can't respond by getting rid of the Neva. I mean the target of the Neva. So Celebrant. I sadly don't have. No, I mean it's gonna be the Hopeful Vigil, because that I can cast on this turn. Now they use the food token. So I actually have let's say they have 2 lands in hand, then I win the game. That's actually true. I'm not gonna block this guy now. But this is gonna pick up a counter from the Witch's Vanity, and if I want to, from the Hopeful Vigil. Well, they gave a counter to the Edgewall pack for reasons I'm not. Okay, so I win the game now. This is gonna grow into a 3-3. I mean, actually, even this happens, but this is gonna get the. I forgot the Wicked Troll token, but you know, it's gonna this is gonna pick up a counter from an enchantment going to graveyard, and of course, this Saga will go to graveyard. And then if I want to activate this, so this would be a 4/4/7. I was able to deal 9 damage this turn. All right, well. I had good draws, they didn't have so good draws. So that's why I was able to beat the Soul Cauldron. This of course was an incredibly strong draw there. I go first, so they actually won the die roll and they let me go first. With the Vigil and a Celebrant, I'm keeping it. I need a land of course, but I can even use the cooped up. I can give this token a +1/+1 from the royal token. So I do think it is a reasonable keep. I don't like seeing blue because you know, they can bounce the token easily. But also, did you see 51 cards? Okay. I mean, I'm at 2-0, so I'm supposedly against another 2-0, unless there's a long queue time. It wasn't a long queue time for me, but if it was for them, if they haven't found another opponent, their result could be anything. But I'm in fact playing against a 59 card deck. But it might be... Oh, they kept... Is this the final? I mean, they missed their second land drop. And they didn't even draw a card with the Soul Guide Lantern here. Now this thing has actually ward, so even if they have the the adventure with at 2 mana that bounces a thing, it's not gonna help against the ward unless they have a they need another land for that. So they actually didn't even activate these to draw a card. Alright, I think the matches 1 and 2 were very, very good matches, but this third match might actually be not so much. I'm not going to sideboard anything. I didn't see, anything than a Soul Guide Lantern there. So let's use the same deck. Do they still let me go first? I'll see. No, now they are going first. It's a little bit of a floody hand, but this also has some synergy, and I'm gonna keep specifically against, because I can just have good draws like this. But I'm not too concerned about the 559 card deck because I think I have time to draw my good stuff. At least this hand can play lands up until turn 5. And I had the Knight of Doves and maybe a way to save it. But of course, now that I drew the Hopeful Vigil, that's just amazing. And they kept a 1-lander again. Okay, at least they have a land now. Sleight of hand. But yeah, I think the matches 1 and 2 were, good content. This maybe could be just a very quick way to finish off the video and the event. And of course, if I get the third win from this, I'm still happy about the resource gains. Plus 1000 gems whenever you get a 3-0 from a traditional draft, and that seems pretty simple now that it's gonna be the case. Even get the synergy here with the Celebrant. They might have a counterspell, of course, but we'll see. No counterspell. Okay. And I even have the Not Dead after all here. Scry every land away. Okay, this is good stuff. I'm not even sure which one. I have a Hopeful Vigil here. So do I want to play 2 Vigils or the Lord Skitter's Blessing? I guess I'm gonna just play the more tokens here. Just to win the game quicker. I don't need the card draw. Just mass. Okay, they have a 3rd land and a 3rd color now. But yeah, these Vigils will, produce some flyers with the Knight of Doves. It will take some time, of course. But I will just get 2 new 2/2s on the battlefield on the next turn. So unless they have like a very good blocker here. Okay, that's not a blocker. They have a 1/1 of course, but maybe they will start to get some actual big blockers there. But the thing is, of course, that I have a pretty wide board in here. So even if they play a 1 big blocker, I can just attack. Because they won't have a lot of life left. They might block the Celebrant, go to 12. And then I'll just get, I have a 5 creatures in here. So I'm definitely attacking into a single blocker unless it has like lifelink. Even if that means jump attacking. So this is now 10 damage I'm offering here. 11 with the Wicked token here. But now let's see what they have. And I can just sacrifice these Hopeful Vigils and it will trigger the Knight of Doves. Getting some 1-1 flyers to finish them off unless they have like a... What's the Beanstalk Worm? Is that the 5/4? Well, that's actually a very bad blocker because it can't kill any of my guys. It can kill the Knight of Doves, but I don't have to attack with it. But I think I will. So let's see, let's do something smart here. If I give a counter to this, that's gonna be 7, 10. No, it's gonna be the Knight of Doves. Because of course I have the Not Dead after all here. Although they can in fact respond by using the Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, that's actually something they can do. Because it will go to the graveyard. So probably I won't be using it. I'm gonna crack one of these things though, because that will give me a 1/1 flyer, and they're gonna go to... They're gonna take 9, and then from the Wicked token they take 1 life loss. So they will be at 2 life. Yeah, taken by Nightmares is good one in here. So actually I don't play the Not Dead after all, because they can get rid of the... I'm not sure if they would realize that they could use this Soul Guide Lantern here. It's free to use it. Yeah, it's fine. I'll let my guy die, because of course they will die on the next turn. They go to 2 now, and I got my flying token. And I have the removal here. Okay, so they actually do exile it, my entire graveyard. So they could have, I mean, when this creature goes to graveyard, they could have... It is in the graveyard, then it comes back, and the opponent can respond to it by exiling my graveyard, while it is on the graveyard, but hasn't yet entered. Okay, that's a good blocker for my stuff, but I have way too much creatures here. I can just win by attacking, no reason to do anything else. Alright, so match 3 was somewhat uneventful. I guess this final game, or the second game, was at least something happened here. But matches 1 and 2 were nice battles, and of course even nicer that I managed to win them both. But I don't know if I have played a lot of these black and white decks. I have had some of them. Not sure if I uploaded those videos. I mean, recorded, because I don't record every draft nowadays anymore. But I do upload everything I record. But at least this is one of the rarer archetypes I have played. And this deck was quite good. I didn't actually have as many Neva plays as I maybe hoped to have. But I definitely get to do my stuff with the Celebrants, Hopeful Vigil, and the Knight of Doves actually seemed, at least with this volume of enchantments going to graveyard, it was, I think, a worthy inclusion in the deck. Yeah, not much else to say about the deck. Another trophy run here, and hopefully these things continue until the next set releases, and then they still continue after that. Anyhow, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.